Hey there, how's it going?
Surviving. How you doing?
Hey, doing great, thank you.
Just saw the ID4 range test you did a couple of weeks ago on Inside EVs.
Right, so Jordan and I did a 100% to zero 70 mile per hour highway range test of the ID4 Pro.
And here's the thing. Two things, actually. First of all, I'm glad one of you guys got your ass kicked by that road on the way to Ogallala.
That's right, that road was wild. Actually, we both got stuck in storms. I was doing a Mach-E at the same time Jordan was doing the ID4. And, there was just a crazy storm, especially towards the end of that range test. And because I wasn't in the ID4, I'm not totally certain how accurate those results actually are.
So here's the thing. I think we're going to call this the curse of Julesburg. I think that is. And my family's originally from there, so I know it's cursed. Anyway, here's the second thing, and you kind of touched on this. I don't think the numbers were I don't think you did justice. And so here's what I'm going to do. Tomorrow morning, I'm getting in the ID4, and I'm doing a full 70 mile an hour AC on range test. No stopping, no bathroom, no messing, straight out of San Jose and back. You
Yep.
okay? You okay if I share the numbers with you when I get back?
You have to do it. It has to be a loop style test, has to be at 70. Air conditioning has to be on. No aero advantage from other cars. I'm excited to hear what the numbers are once you finish up the test.
Done. I will call you tomorrow night.
All right, call me tomorrow night. We'll see how it goes. Good luck.
Morning. I have just charged the car up to 100%. I am at the Electrify America charging station off of Bernal Drive, South San Jose. Possibly one of the most unreliable Electrify America charging units in the San Jose metropolitan, and we have quite a few of them. Today we are doing a range test, and I should say, hi, I'm regular EV Dad John. Now, we are going to head 104 miles south to San Lucas, and I'm going to use this route as my everyday testing route for the vehicles, because we've got more coming up in the channel over coming weeks and months, and we were going to have non-ID4s entering the fray. More on that to come. But this is going to be my range test route for the simple reason that traffic in the Bay Area is horrible. I'm doing this on a Sunday morning. It's just coming up to 8 o'clock in the morning. This is pretty much the only chance I have to get a clean run, or relatively clean run. I'm in constant awe of others that do these kinds of tests, because they have far more predictable traffic. So we're going to head down to, and it's appropriately named, the pit stop in San Lucas. And I can't tell you how good the tacos are or not, because I've never been, but it is 104 miles there, which means it's 104 miles back. Now we know that we're going to go more than 210 miles, but the good thing is that once we get back to San Jose, I can just head to the west side of San Jose towards Cupertino, and there are any number of Electrify America chargers that I can finish at. So why am I doing this? Well, a couple of reasons. I've been wanting to do it, but I haven't had the time to apply the consistency of driving at 70 miles an hour. A few weeks ago, a week or so ago, Kyle Connor on the Inside EVs put the cheapest version of the ID4, the Pro, through its long-range test, and I think he got 211 miles. And I commented on the video at the time that I have got 234 myself. I have done this. I know these things to be true. We can go further because I have commented at least twice that I could get from my house to Anderson in Northern California, which is 234. Now, each time I've tried to do this, I have been defeated by my bladder, and I've had to stop. Or traffic's been so bad I've wanted to make up time, and so I've shredded it and got into Willows and done a charge. Or we did that share stop and pee and got a coffee and hit an EV go because I was worried and I was carrying London with me, the bug. So today London's not with us, it's just me. She's on a road trip with her mom coming back from Denver. And so we've got time on our side. Hopefully we've got traffic on our side. I'm looking at Waze right now and it says everything is fine, so we'll keep that going. And what we're going to add to this is a little bit of data as well. So I've got EV Notify running, and that's with the Better Route Planner. Now we only care about the EV Notify bit because that's going to log all the data for us. But this should be interesting. My prediction is 230 miles. That is my prediction. So we'll see where we go from there. And if you're seeing anything else, it's we have a couple of new cameras, and so I'm just testing out what they look like. So if this video looks a little bit different, please put your comments please put something in the comments that lets me know what's working. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe. It costs you nothing, but it changes everything for my channel. All right, enjoy the scenery. We're heading down 101. It's overcast right now, but this will burn off over time. It's predicted to be a warmer day. A little bit of science on this. As soon as we hit the freeway, using travel assist, setting it to 70 miles an hour, and we are just going to go. I have set the AC to 66, and we're just going to keep it that way. Be safe. Turnoff for Monterey, and that's why we're doing this early in the morning, because if the weather was better and we have a little sprinkling of moisture on the windscreen, it's not rain, but it's not just fog and condensate. 156 this is where the traffic just gets really bad on 101 southbound on the weekend, so that's why we set off early. We just went past, if you need it, Hearns, which is the farm supply place, where I get my wormer. They have rules up in the city, whereas out here in the country, not so much. Well, there's a degree of variance. Also, and I'll see if I can put a link to it, is the Ricardo 350 kilowatt charger system. And now that was installed, must be when I had the i3, so that's 3 years ago. I didn't do the review, by the way. I think News Cooler did the actual review. I used it only once myself. I had a comedy gig down in Monterey. Decided to take the i3 and I had to charge to get home. Which tells you a lot because it's it's a few more miles than you think to Monterey from here. But yeah, that turn-off causes no end of traffic issues. So far, we have been blessed. We are 53 miles in. Our traffic has been blissfully boring and compliant, and we haven't had to, ruin our numbers in any major way. We are achieving 2.9 miles per kilowatt hour, and we're doing 42 miles. All right, enough of me. We'll keep doing this, and see you in a while. We are just coming up to our exit here at San Lucas, literally at the pit stop. Scores on the doors. We are right now 102 miles in, and we are at 2.9 miles per kilowatt efficiency, and the state of charge is, according to, and we'll get into this later, in fact we're not going to go to the pit stop, we're actually just going to turn straight round because I don't need one and we can keep the numbers nice and clean, average speed and all that. Although I do expect the sat-nav to ignore the sounds that they have a hiss fit. 54% state of charge. Now, what's interesting about that is that on my phone that's monitoring the battery, let me just get back up to speed. There we go. We are currently at 54.8%. It was reading a little higher than that. It basically said 55. So that is interesting. That is pretty much on par with Kyle's Inside EV's report, this does have the bigger wheels, so who knows if it makes that much difference. I'm going to head straight back now. The plan is still to hit, we'll see where we are as we come into San Jose, hopefully, whether we go straight back into Bernal Dry to charge, or if we have enough juice in the tank to make it to Allen Rock, or whether we'll head west to Alamite, I think that's what it's called. Alright, there'll be a little bit more talking on the way back, as there's a few things I want to point out to you, some new infrastructure that's been created in the last month or two. Alright, be safe. Remember my old history teacher, Mr. Hutt, telling us that we are all living in our own history. I'm reminded of that as I'm driving right now back through King City, and on my left is Kiefer's Inn. Now, 5 or 6 years ago, there was a ChargePoint 22 kilowatt fast charger, which was installed as part of the BMW DC Fast program, and I used it. My first EV road trip of any distance was taking that battery only 94 amp hour i3 from San Jose down to Paso Robles, and I think I've mentioned this on other videos. I'd left from work, I charged fully at work, I'd done the preconditioning, I got all the way to Salinas, I plugged it in at an EVgo in Salinas, and then whilst the GOM, which I had a lot more confidence in back then than I do these days, said I would make it to Paso, where there was another 22 kilowatt charger. I stopped there just to check that it was there, that it existed, that it worked, because there weren't backup plans were 110 kilowatts and going to someone's house and begging. But like I said, we're living in our own history. That unit has gone, and very close to where it was, it's been replaced in the past few weeks, from what I can tell, going by the check-ins on PlugShare. That's been replaced by a 150 kilowatt unit being run by FreeWire. Then on the other side, in the King City shopping center, there is it's located behind AutoZone, are 3 ChargePoint 62.5 kilowatts, which are very, very usable. They really are. That's quite an evolution. It really is. So this Nissan Pathfinder doesn't want to respect my wish to stay at 70 miles an hour. So changes are constantly, and next time I talk to you, we'll talk about another one that's come in on this critical route. I don't. 101 is an interesting route insofar as, you know, obviously it connects the communities along what was the original southwest route. just in this short 100-mile drive, you can see in the time-lapse camera the diversity of the environment. You go from the semi-coastal, so we're heading north. To my west, you have one mountain range. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it. And then on that, you have the ocean. But it creates this moisture trap, which is why you have all this fantastic farmland and the alluvial soils within it. This is an incredibly productive part of the agricultural world. But it's also, this road is our backup road to I-5, which can have any number of issues. And, you know, it's not been uncommon for us living in San Jose to take 101 down to Paso Robles and then shoot over to Lost Hills, then pick up 5. And in fact, one of my non-EV road trips, this was shortly after we were married. We had Thanksgiving in San Diego with family, and we left a day early, and we drove back, and we actually drove up 101, and I'll always be it just showed me a less hectic side of California. All right, enough of my prattling. Let's keep driving. So we're just going past Soledad, most famous for its mission. We're going to have to give the car the beans, because the Chevy Tahoe, seriously people, up until now we have had not to use the brakes in any major way, but nah. So we're just going past Soledad, and, you know, talk about an evolving history, and so I don't want to break the efficiency of what we're trying to achieve today, but in the last couple of weeks, Electrify America has actually opened up another 4 charger site there in the parking lot of Food Co. And it's an interesting one, just because so much stuff built up on the side of 101. So whilst it's not a rest stop, it's got a lot of the things you would associate, because you've got 2 gas stations, you've got a Starbucks, and the Starbucks is actually right next to the charger. I can see that just by driving by. There was a Hyundai charging in there as I passed, a black Hyundai, so hi, whoever you are. Good to see these things being used, but I didn't see you check in. You all plug, share and check in. It helps everybody. So this route is constantly improving and evolving. All right, we're gonna keep going to we'll give you a quick efficiency check. We got 73 miles to go, and state of charge is 42, and we're actually showing 101 on the GOM, and this F-150 is very aggressive. moving on. Just went through 20% on the car. We've got our yellow light on. 55 miles on the GOM. EV Notify as normal has got an extra 10% on there, so that's showing 22%. We will see what effect, if any, that has when we get in. If we were to go back to Bernal Road, where we started, that is 26 miles. However, we have got programmed in the Safeway to the north, past Allenrock, I think it's on McKee, and that is 38 miles from where we are right now. That would put us at we sit here at 20%, we have done 180 miles. And we're averaging exactly 3 miles per kilowatt. That's where we are right now, average speed of 67. So this is interesting. The number, by the way, from Carl's video that I linked to earlier was 229 on the Pro. So, let's keep going. Time for an update. We are at exactly 200 miles done. Average speed 67. We've had it set to 70 the whole time, which actually is 70 in this car GPS rating. Our efficiency has been exactly 3 miles per kilowatt hour of energy. I've kept the sat-nav updated to the Safeway off of Berryessa. I knew eventually I would remember where it was. Due to that's going to add a couple of miles for us. That's going to, we are 17 miles. So that's going to bring us in as 217. Now there is another charger a little bit further away. However, it's full right now. It's the one at Great Mall, America. Interestingly, where they used to make the Ford Thunderbird, I'm told, many years ago. T-Bird, I think it's the Thunderbird. That's the factory that's long since been closed. We are going to not go there because it's middle of a shopping day and we don't want to be waiting for a charger. That site is somewhat notorious for this. So we may add on, we may just shoot past the intersection and then and loop ourselves back. That's easy enough to do. It's only 16 miles to get there, so I'm feeling good about this right now. So yeah, we've done 202, so that's 218 if we just come in, and a better road planner is predicting we'll still have 6% in the tank, so that's theoretically another 18 miles. Interesting times. Let's keep going and close this out. Our exit Berryessa is just coming up right now, 600 feet. We're at 216 miles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go another 9 miles north and then turn around and come back. And I'm just holding that the GOM is correct on this. So right now I've got 7% showing on the cut, 7.3% showing on EV Notify. So like I said, we'll go another 9 miles ish and then come back. That's, can't tell you where that is, but it's what we're going to do. This should be fun. I drove all the way up to Warm Springs, which, if you're not familiar, is actually where the Tesla plant is. Well, we call it Fremont, it's technically Warm Springs. So I drove up there. I wasn't going to go any further because after that you have to go up over the hill towards Fremont. I call it the Teletubby Hill because it reminds me of the hill that's having, yeah, there's weird things going in my head. So we're at 3.4%, well, 4% on the GOM here, 3.4 down on EV Notify. We've got 6 miles to go. We've got 9 miles on the GOM, and the car is saying please charge your vehicle. You can search nearby. Well, I'm going to roll the dice, and we're at 227. So we're going to go through the 229 miles that Kyle and his team achieved. We'll talk about why when we get to the charger. Hey, Kyle.
Hey there.
How you doing?
Hey, good. How did your test go?
234, 70 miles per hour. Actually averaged at 67 the whole way, which I think is givable.
Yep.
3.1 miles per kilowatt hour.
Yeah.
And 2% left in the tank. That's 240, baby.
Well, you never know that last little bit, but even so, you still had some left when our range test did not. And look, none of these tests are ever truly scientific. We don't perform them in a vacuum. I will say, though, that my gut feeling at the end of our ID4 Pro test was I'd like to do it again. And, you know, having a little bit of wind at the end, it's so hard to say how much and for how long, especially as I wasn't in the car and it was Jordan's first range test. So that was a pressed car that I didn't want to pile the miles on. And we also had to post, you know, obviously content for working with the vehicle. But I think we should do a little bit of a challenge. I'm going to redo this test, or at least have some of my colleagues redo this test, because my dad has a Volkswagen ID4 Pro S with gradient, so the big wheels, also has an ID4 Pro overlapping each other. And they both are fresh cars, never fully charged, ready to rock and roll. I think we run them both at 70 miles per hour, side by side on the same bit of road.
You know what? That sounds like a plan to me. I want to see what that comes in at. It's not that we have a target to beat. And like you said, that piece of road that kicked your ass, it kicked mine 3 shades of sun. That was with that one of the best videos we ever produced, but it was without doubt one of the scariest rides.
Sure. Well, you know, when you're about to run out of juice, that's when it gets super exciting. Happened to me actually yesterday. I missed an exit with 3% remaining, and it was 8 miles to the next exit. This makes for the best content.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to watch that video. Hey, have a good night's rest. Speak to you tomorrow.
Yep, sounds great. See you later.